Okay, everybody. Quick hits number 6. So I have a day off today, and I decided to get up and, not sit around and waste time. I woke up this morning, and as of now, my Salvatore De Sarno video has decided it's not monetized. It's under review. YouTube is messing with me again, so I was pretty upset when I woke up to that. But I decided, why sit around like a Momo? Go out, do another video. You got a day off. Let's get it done. All right. So we're looking at this house right here, 19 St. Mark's Place. Now, if you know me, I often don't like filming houses for too long. So I'm in my car. I'm not outside, but I think you get a nice view here. 19 St. Mark's Place. So this was Henry Hill's residence in Rockville Center. It's in Long Island, just outside Queens city limits, not too far, a few miles outside. So a couple of things here. Well, first of all, if you see Goodfellas, when he's losing his freaking mind, the helicopters are watching him. He's going nuts. He's banging lines. He's his brother with the sauce and the wheelchair in the kitchen. All this shit's going on. All that stuff would have went on right inside this casa right here. Okay, so a couple of things. He moves in here a little bit before the Lufthansa heist. Now, the original proposal of the Lufthansa heist happens inside this house here. Henry moves in. Martin Krugman comes over with his wife. And when they get a moment of freedom away from the ladies, Krugman says, listen, I got this guy, Louis Werner. He owes me 20 grand. But he's got this thing. They got millions of dollars in this vault. It's ready to be taken, So this is kind of where that proposal is first hatched, right inside this house here. So this is where Henry Hill was living. So I'm going to tell you another story about this here. Now, a little before Henry starts getting wiretapped. Now listen to this. There's a 19-year-old youngster out of Comac, Long Island, who gets arrested. Now, he gets arrested by a detective by the name of Daniel Mann. Daniel Mann addressed this guy. Now, this 19-year-old kid, he's selling Quaaludes, and he's in all types of trouble. So he says he's going to cooperate. He says, listen, I know this guy, Henry Hill. He's connected to all these crazy mobsters, Paul Vario, all these dudes. He's selling heroin. He's selling cocaine. He's got all this shit going on. The cops are like, come on, dude. You got to be fucking kidding me. So this guy, Daniel Mann, he calls a detective over there in New York City, a guy by the name of Bruce Walter. And because this detective knows this kid because he's got a case on him in Brooklyn. And he says, I got your boy over here. Is this guy for real? I mean, because he's telling me some crazy stuff. And the detective goes, yeah, you got a real winner over there. Have fun. So from there, this kid tells him all the stuff. I know Henry. My family knows him. I've done landscaping for him. He convinced me to start selling drugs for him. He had me paying me for, distributing drugs and doing trips for him. I guess you can call him a drug mule or whatever it is. So from there, they start watching Henry. Now, one of the things about Henry is he's fucking erratic. He's driving around these streets of Rockville Center. He's going 60 miles an hour. He's going through red lights. He really doesn't want to be followed. He's extremely paranoid. And the cops catch on to this, and they're like, we can't follow this guy. He's going to know we're following him. Because he's going 60, we got to do 60. He's running red lights, we got to run red lights. So eventually they convinced the courts out in Long Island to wiretap. So they wiretap this home here at 19 St. Mark's, and then another home on 250 Lakeview Avenue where his girlfriend Robin Copperman is living, where they are assuming the basement apartment of that home is where they're packaging all the drugs and all the operations are going down, because this is what this 19-year-old youngster tells them. So, they wiretap, and, that's history. You guys know it. I mean, Goodfellas is so told over and over again, So they get the wiretaps here, and then, eventually Hill gets bagged, And yeah, so everything you see in Goodfellas is happening in this home right here. All the paranoia, everything. Even the Lufthansa heist, he's screaming in the bathroom after he's in the shower screaming. That would have happened in this home here. And so they wiretap this home. Eventually, he goes down. And then there's the other home on 250 Lakeview Ave. We'll go over there and get a quick look at that. This is quick hits. Like I said, not much of a story. We'll just go to the location, talk about things a little bit. These videos might be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes long. Nothing serious, especially with a story like this. It's been told so many times. But I thought it would be awesome to come check out the house here. There it is. So I think we're going to do 3 locations today. We're going to look at this. We're going to go to the girlfriend's home, the home of Robin Copperman. That's going to be quick. And then I think we're going to go take a look at the Sherwood Diner, where Burke and Hill have a quick meeting after Hill gets out of prison from being arrested from all the drug shit. And yeah, we'll talk about that when we get over there. That's a little bit of ways from here, but I think we'll go over there. We'll check it out. So once again, 19 St. Mark's, Rockville Center, Henry Hill's home. And yeah, this is it. So from anyone that wanted to see it, especially you guys overseas, I know you like to see this stuff. All right, so we'll be back in a minute. All right, so right there, that's the home, 250 Lakeview Ave, with the flag flying right there. Nice home, very Americana, if you will. So that's the home where his girlfriend Robin Copperman lived, and in the basement was where the kids said they had all the drugs and they had everything. Is a basement apartment of this home. And yeah, so that was it right there. And if there's any scenes, I believe Goodfellas, where he's at that apartment with the girlfriend, they're like arguing about something or whatever. So it was in the basement of this home here. So we're not going to spend time here, really. Just wanted to show you the house. 250 Lakeview Ave, Rockville Center. Another house that was wiretapped. And when I say wiretapped, I mean they tapped the phones. It's not like they went in there with a wire. So that's another spot right there, 250 Lakeview Ave. Basement apartment of Robin Copperman, Henry Hill's girlfriend. All right. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're looking at the Sherwood Diner, Rockaway Parkway in Long Island. It's considered the neighborhood of Lawrence, Long Island over here. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So after Henry gets out, and there's the scene in Goodfellas when he meets with Burke in the diner and they're talking about his case. This would be the real diner that they met at. And Burke's, talking, and in the book Wise Guy, they're kind of talking in a lingo in case the table is tapped. These guys are so paranoid, so they're talking in kind of codes or whatever, and so they're talking about the case, and eventually Jimmy says, "Hey, listen, you'll be all right. Do me a favor. Meet me at Charlie the Jap's bar over in Sunnyside, over there on Queens Boulevard." Charlie the Jap. So when Henry hears this, he's like, "I've known this guy for 25 years. You mean, who the hell is Charlie the Jap in Sunnyside? I never even heard of this guy. I never heard of the bar. I never heard of any of this." So Henry decides he's not going to wait. He's going to go check out the bar on his own. And when he sees the bar, he says, "No freaking way. This is a classic Jimmy Burke hit spot. This is the type of place that he would bring somebody to, to do a hit." So he goes over there and he scopes it out. And so eventually he goes over to Liberty Ave to Jimmy Burke's sweatshop with his wife. He kind of surprises Jimmy, and they're talking. Now, this informant that I spoke about before turns out to be Bobby Germain Jr., the son of one of their associates by the name of Robert Germain. He was a good stick-up guy. He was a guy who did heists, drug trafficker, and he was one of Henry Hill's main partners in the cocaine and heroin distribution. So they find out. Why do they find this out? Well, according to Hill, they left the kid's frickin' name right on the table. So they know it's a rat. And Henry Hill kind of tells Burke about who it is. Eventually, Bobby Jermaine Jr. gets killed in 1980 by Angelo Sepe on the orders of Jimmy Burke. So here we go, a young kid like 20, 21 years old. He's getting whacked for being a rat, and the cops, doing the great job that they did, left the kid's number on the frickin' table and his name. Not his number, well, his name. So Henry Hill knew who the rat was. And after that, Jimmy Burke is like, go down to Florida. I want you to do some work for me, this and that. But, as we know from history, Henry Hill decides to rat. And he gives everything up, and eventually everything falls apart. But this was the diner that they met at the Sherwood Diner to kind of discuss what was going on with Henry after he gets out. Now, shortly after this, the cops come back to Rockville Center, to that home that we looked at, and they basically grab Henry off the streets, and that's the end. He informs. They find everything. He's a witness in the Lufthansa heist. He talks about the college point shaving scam, and then everything falls apart for Vario, for Burke, for all these guys, and of course everyone else starts getting whacked. Everybody associated with the Lufthansa heist. Angelo Sepe kills Jermaine Jr., and then not long after that, he's going to get killed. He's not long for this world because he's involved in the Lufthansa heist. And Robert McMahon, all these guys, we can go down the list of all these guys that ended up getting killed. Joe Manry, I believe, is another one. Yeah, so this is the diner. This is the diner that, to me, it's a classic diner, man. This is like a classic East Coast diner right here. This place probably hasn't changed much since its inception. And yeah, just a classic diner, kind of one of the places you'd picture that mobsters come to meet up and have conversations. And you can imagine Hill and Burke sitting at the table over here. Now Burke also talks about that when he gets here, Jimmy's already there. Burke thinks he's a rock. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the names. When Henry gets here, I think he gets here early, but he's like discovers that Burke is already here. Burke seems, not himself. He hasn't even touched his coffee. He hasn't touched his fruit that he ordered, and Hill knows something's really off. And obviously, he's questioning him about his girlfriend. He's questioning him about all these people. Who do you know? Who's involved? What's going on? But at the end of the day, he assures him, okay, everything's going to be all right. But Henry Hill knows he's dealing with a bunch of killers. Everything's not all right. Now, one of the other interesting things about Henry getting bagged when they start investigating him, they quickly notice that he's not somebody that's like well known. He's not like on the list of like made men. Obviously, he couldn't have been a made man because of his ethnicity. But he's not like one of these high profile guys that's on the list of known guys. But for some reason, he has so much access to all these guys, to capos, to made men. He's so deeply involved. So this is something that's a little perplexing to law enforcement. Now, if you know the story of Henry Hill, he just grows up around these guys. You got the cab stand over there, Euclid Ave cab stand with Paul Vario. So he kind of just grows up with all these guys. This story's been told 100 million times. And yeah, and you have the story with Karen Hill, also Jimmy trying to get her into like one of the sweatshops, and she kind of jumps in her car and escapes, and all the other stories. So we saw Henry Hill's house, we saw the girlfriend's house. Now we see the Sherwood Diner where Hill and Burke have the meeting after Hill gets out, and they're discussing the case. All right, Sherwood Diner, Lawrence, New York, out in Long Island. And that's going to end the video. Quick hit 6. Just a quick one. This is probably going to be about 15 minutes. And I hope you guys liked it. It wasn't, the most exciting thing in the world, but I figured, hey, it belongs on the channel. And like I said, I was a little upset about my video getting demonetized, so I decided to go out and make another one because these on-scene location videos, they do well, and YouTube really doesn't mess with me for them. And I pride myself on not asking you guys to give me any money, cash apps or whatever. Not that I have anything against people that do that. It's just not my style. So anything I can get off YouTube monetization is definitely a plus for me. So guys, I hope you have a beautiful week. It's Tuesday. We got a bit of a week ahead of us, and everybody, enjoy yourselves, be safe, and thanks as always.